Hey YouTube, Rider Zero here today with another review. Today we will be taking a break from the traditional waves of the Green Lantern Movie Masters figures. We're going to be taking a look at the Abin Sur figure today from the Movie Masters 2-pack. I actually bought this figure separately for like $7, which was fantastic because it saved me from having to purchase the 2-pack and having an extra Hal Jordan figure. Not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but I didn't feel the need to have an extra Movie Masters Hal, so big thumbs up for scoring Abin Sur by itself cheap. Initially, when I first started looking at this figure, I thought it was just pretty much the same sculpt as Hal Jordan, just with a different head. Come to find out, though, it's actually quite a bit different, which we will talk about. It's got a lot of the same parts, don't get me wrong, but some of the just little minute details are different, which makes it kind of an original sculpt, but not at the same time. But we'll get into that as we go over the detailing. No collect and connect pieces came with the 2-packs or anything like that. No stands or accessories at all that I believe. At least this figure didn't come with anything, which I'm okay with, especially for the price that I got. If I had bought the 2-pack, though, I probably would have been a little disappointed, because at least with the Movie Masters line, you know, they could have included a stand or something, but I guess it's not a huge deal. So, taking a look at the detailing on the figure, as with all of the other Green Lantern figures so far, it is very nicely detailed. It looks a lot like Abin Sur from the movie, which is pretty much what these were going for. The only nitpick I have is the eyes on mine are painted a little crooked. But other than that, you know, I really can't complain for picking this guy up for like $6. Pretty much the same kind of costume that you see on Hal, starting with the, you know, the lighter green metallic color, the molding for the lantern symbol rather than being painted on, which you probably saw. One thing I did forget to mention actually in the Rotlop fan review, that's the first one that has the painted symbol rather than it being molded, which not a huge deal, but just forgot to mention that and thought I should mention it. Like I said, though, the costume carries over that same kind of gradient effect where, you know, it starts out up here at the top with the lighter green color, starts to darken there at the waist, and then goes down into that darker kind of foresty green matte color, and then goes back into the metallic green for the boots. A couple of spots there, the dark, or not really the boots, I guess you could say just the costume. One interesting thing about this one versus the Hal Jordan, you can see there that it's actually a foot rather than being a boot. I guess it was sculpted that way because they were trying to, like they said in the movie, they're trying to give each individual lantern's costume the look of his own home planet. So maybe they all go around barefoot on Abin Sur's home planet. Who knows? Just an interesting little thing there, though, I thought was pretty neat. The only other difference between this one and the Hal figure really is this articulation spot here, which we'll go over now since we're going to jump into that. It actually has the ab crunch style articulation, whereas the Hal Jordan figure just rotated here at the waistline. No rotation at the waistline for this one, which I'm okay with, though. Unfortunately, the ab crunch on mine's a little loose. Not a huge deal because it stays posed very well. But, you know, something to note there, it is a little loose. Articulation-wise, before we get into that, you can see here it's got the kind of white collars looking thing. Almost looks like a medal or a necklace of some sort. Carries over into the back of the figure, which we'll take a quick look at. That is pretty much the only other major difference from the Hal figure. I don't believe it's sculpted. It's just painted on there, but, you know, just another quick little difference I'll throw in there. Articulation, same as the Hal Jordan figure. Full 360 degree at the shoulder. It's really tight. Hinge there at the shoulder as well. That's also very, very tight. I haven't flexed him and moved him very much. Rotation there at the elbow and at the bicep. Extra hinge there, or not extra, but a hinge there. Rotation at the wrist and hinge at the wrist. However, it carries over that same kind of stupid looking hand that Hal Jordan has that has no function at all other than looking stupid. If I show it there on camera, you can see it a lot better. I really am not a fan of that hand style because it doesn't even hold the lantern very well that the Hal Jordan figure came with, and it looks like they pretty much just carried it over into this figure, which is unfortunate. However, it wouldn't stop me from purchasing it because I'm a completist like that with these figures. The only other thing to mention over here is the ring, of course. this is probably the worst of the set. I'm trying to get into focus here. This one is probably the worst of the figures so far. It kind of just looks like a black blob of plastic there on the hand. You can't really make out much of the detailing of the shape or anything, so not a huge deal. These are small figures, and this does have a small hand, so not a huge deal, but something to note. The leg has full movement for the front. His butt kind of hinders it going from any further back than that. Side to side, or not really side to side, but it kicks out to the side. Same rotation there at the knee, hinge at the knee, and then you get hinge at the ankle as well as rotation. So articulation wise, it's pretty much the same as the Hal Jordan figure, and I would assume probably going to be pretty much the same. Come into focus there. Pretty much the same as most of the humanoid figures. However, you know, I think it's still a great figure and one that you should definitely try to pick up if you can find it. If you need Hal Jordan and Abin Sur, definitely get the 2-pack because I definitely think it's worth it. A lot of these figures are starting to be clearanced out from what I hear at Target. They're not moving as well as a lot of people had hoped, including myself, which is kind of putting a damper on possibility of future waves. I know that the Wave 2 with Sinestro is actually out already, but I've yet to see it at any of the stores that I have within an hour's driving distance. So, like I said, it's still a good figure, and it definitely goes well with the entire line of Movie Masters if you're collecting those, so I definitely recommend it. I'll actually put a link in the comments on where I picked mine up. I can't remember the link offhand. I think it's like Hobby Stock CN or something like that. It shipped out of China, and like I said, it was like, it was either $5.99 or $6.99. I want to say it was $6, but that's before shipping, of course, which I think shipped, it ended up being like somewhere in the neighborhood of $10 to $12. But I'll put a link to that in the comments as well. But that pretty much does it for this guy. Like I said, it's definitely a good figure to get if you're completing the Movie Masters line, or if you're just a Lantern fan in general. It's definitely one that you're going to want to look at getting. So definitely check that one out if you're able to find it. Don't forget to check out RidersRangersandRambles.com for all the news, latest news on Toku and comics in the craziest way possible. Follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/RiderZero. Hit me up in the comments, messages, whatever. If there's anything you'd like to see me cover or go into more detail on in the reviews, or if there's anything you'd like to see me review from the world of DC, just let me know. I'm definitely open for suggestions and comments. So that's going to do it. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and take care.